If your goal is to burn fat, to burn calories, and stay healthy in the long term, what works better? Fasting, where you limit when you eat, or strength training, where you build muscle? Some will swear that fasting is the fastest way to lose fat. Others say lifting weights, that's the real secret. So today, we're going to put both of those to the real test. As always, no BS, no fear, and no hype. Just these two strategies and what they actually do inside of our bodies. Let's explore the facts about fasting and strength training. And at the end, we'll run them side by side, which will give you a clear answer to which is best for you for fat loss and overall health, and which one will hold up over a lifetime. Let's start with the facts about fasting. What fasting actually does. Fasting, it's what you would expect. It is limiting how many hours per day you're allowing yourself to eat. And for many people, that would lead to eating fewer calories overall during that day. But fasting, it doesn't burn calories all by itself. And it doesn't magically melt fat like you see in some photos in these thumbnails. The calorie reduction, not the fasting itself, that's what's driving the fat loss. And this is important because fasting often gets credit for things it didn't actually do. Metabolic effects. Real, but overstated. Fasting, it does cause some real biological changes. It can improve insulin sensitivity. It reduces some inflammation markers, and it increases growth hormone levels. And these benefits, they are impressive, but none of them cause fat loss. Fat loss still depends on your total calorie intake over time. So while fasting can improve certain health markers, it does not override our built-in calorie burning basics. Fat loss and weight loss evidence. Now, don't think that I'm trashing fasting, because I do believe that it has a place in your health and wellness. And I'll share how I use it when we compare it with strength training. And if you want to check my work, I'm going to list all my research references right down there in the description, as I always do. But with fat loss, another finding in that research showed that when researchers compared fasting to a regular calorie restriction diet over a long period of time, there was really no difference in the results. In other words, fasting is just another way to eat less, which reduces calorie intake, which could possibly lead you to losing some weight. Health markers and concerns. If you've looked into fasting, I'm sure you've seen the word ketosis. And if you want a deeper dive into that subject, I have 2 videos explaining ketosis and exploring if it's safe for you. And I'll link to those videos down there in the description below or up here in the corners. In short, ketosis is a normal metabolic state where the body shifts fuel sources. For some, it feels fine. For others, it adds stress, especially when it's combined with poor sleep, illness, or just life stress. Some people, they will lose fat fasting. Others won't. And for many, they'll regain that weight when fasting stops, especially if the calorie intake rebounds quickly. In the end, fasting does not cause fat loss. It does not magically melt fat off. And it does not override basic biology. For some, fasting can improve inflammation markers, cholesterol, and help you control blood sugar. But long-term cardiovascular outcomes from fasting, they're still unclear. On the downside, for many people, fasting can disrupt sleeping patterns and daily rhythm, especially when stress is already really high, because fasting can spike stress levels. So if you're piling it on top of daily stress you already have, it's a good chance you'll be doing more harm than good. What strength training actually does. Now let's look at fat loss and strength training. Lifting weights 100% burns calories, but that's not the main benefit. The real advantage is what it builds. Strength training, it packs on and preserves lean muscle tissue, and that muscle requires a whole bunch of energy to grow and just exist. That means the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn, even while you're sleeping. And this raises your baseline metabolism. That's how your body converts food into energy. And that equals long-term health benefits and positive changes to your body, both inside and out. Calorie burn reality check. Now, during a workout, strength training, it may not burn as many calories, say, as running or an intense cardio. But afterwards, that's where the magic happens. Hours after strength training, your body, it turns into a furnace, burning all the fuel that it can find to repair muscles, ligaments, tendons, strengthen bone, restore the fuel reserves to the muscles, and just adapt to the positive stress from that workout. And more importantly, the muscles you build keep that furnace burning hot and devouring calories all day and night long. Fat loss and body composition. When you lose weight without strength training, you have a higher chance of losing muscle with the fat. And that's a massive problem. Strength training helps you lose fat while preserving and even gaining muscle. So you're not just losing weight, you're improving body composition, strength, endurance, stability, flexibility, and reducing negative stress. And I'll be creating a whole video on stress in the coming weeks, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to the channel so you don't miss it. Health benefits beyond fat loss. The health benefits of strength training, they're endless. A strong body, it means better balance, better mobility. It improves bone density. It helps control blood sugar. And that strength gives you independence, allowing you to do more for longer without giving into fatigue or energy crashes. And this is especially important for my people with cancer and unique challenges. And more than that, strength training reduces age-related muscle loss. If your doctor has mentioned sarcopenia to you, that's what they're talking about. So lifting weights might be the prescription you need. Just make sure that they say it's cool before you start going. The bottom line on strength training, it's all about building muscle, which raises your metabolic baseline. That's burning the stored fuel. And it reshapes your body both inside and out for the long haul of life. Now let's compare fasting and strength training side by side on a few factors. First, which burns more calories? This is where confusion sometimes creeps in. Fasting, it does not burn calories. It creates conditions where you might eat fewer calories, but fasting puts you in survival mode, which may or may not help you lose weight. Strength training, on the other hand, burns calories during the workout and increases how many calories you burn afterwards and long term. Think about that furnace. The more intense you are with your training, the harder that fire is going to burn. And if you keep that fire stoked, we're talking consistency here, those calories are going to go up in smoke. So the takeaway here, fasting only works if calorie intake drops. Strength training burns calories consistently over time. Which is best for fat loss? Here are the no BS, no fear, no hype facts. Fat loss requires a calorie deficit. Not fasting, not lifting weights. Just a simple cutting of calories in your daily diet. Fasting, it can create that deficit, but so can regular healthy dieting. Also, if you were to add strength training while fasting, that does not automatically mean that there's an increase in fat loss. But adding strength training does help protect your body while you're fasting. The only problem here is that while you're fasting, you're basically running on reserves. Your body is fighting to survive. So you might not have the energy to spare for training. And even if you do, you're going to find yourself gassing out quickly and feeling exhausted throughout the rest of the day. So when it comes to fat loss, strength training has the clear advantage over fasting. Because when weight loss happens without building and maintaining muscle, your metabolism slows, energy drops, and rebound weight gain is more likely to happen. Which is more sustainable and true to life? Fasting is simple, but not always easy, because it requires rigid eating windows, tolerance to hunger, and social compromises. It works until life gets in the way. Strength training, it's different. It's slower, but it builds something instead of taking something away. With strength training, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need special timing. All you need is consistency and patience. Fasting is intense and it negatively stresses the body out. It has the body thinking, are we starving? Are we going to be all right? And it can also increase cortisol, especially under stress. And I have a whole video on cortisol. If you want to check that, I'll put a link in the description below. Now, the stress caused by strength training, that is positive. It builds, fortifies, and repairs, improving insulin sensitivity and supporting hormone balance over time. Basically, it helps the body remain in the state it was made for. Movement. Aging and longevity. Here's the part that doesn't get enough attention. As we age, we naturally lose muscle. And that loss increases frailty, falls, insulin resistance, and loss of independence. Fasting, it can't address these. Strength training does. You can fast your way lighter, but you cannot fast your way stronger. And strength is health. Strength preserves independence. Fact or fake? Let's deliver the verdict here. Does fasting burn fat? Fact. If it creates a calorie deficit. Does fasting burn more fat than lifting? That's fake. The deficit matters more than the method. Is strength training better for long-term fat loss and health? 100% fact. No contest. Fasting, it changes what you eat. Strength training, it changes what your body is. One is a strategy, the other one is an investment. If fat loss is your goal, calories matter. But if health, strength, and longevity matter, build muscle first. Use fasting only if it helps, not because you think you need it. For me, I love strength training. That's why I do what I do. Nothing I've done in my life comes close to being as rewarding as guiding people to strength, confidence, and independence. And as for fasting, I do what most humans have done since the beginning of time. I have my last meal around 7 p.m. I go to sleep where my body makes all the repairs that need to be made, and I wake up at 4 o'clock. Yeah, I know that's early. I start the day with a glass of water and a couple cups of black coffee. And then I don't have my first meal until about 7 or 8 a.m. So that's creating a 12-hour fast and a 12-hour eating window. It's simple, it's healthy, and it delivers the results that I want for me and my body. You do what works for you, but keep seeking the truth. Find the facts. Push away the fakes.